Christian and Sue said, my name's Ashley. I got back a few weeks ago. I was in Nepal for about 6 weeks. And I've lived in Pasadena for almost 2 years, and I work at a school in the community called Tabernacle of David Christian Academy. And today I want to share about what happened in Nepal, but I also want to share kind of a little bit of what I feel like the Lord was really speaking to me and showing me while I was there. So I hope you guys are okay with this, but I'm going to get kind of just like raw, and I might cry a little bit, but I think that the Lord has something that He wants me to share with you guys that is really going to be good. So, okay, that's my heart, and I'm going to pray real quick. Jesus, I thank you for this time. Thank you for these moments to just pour into this family that you have been so kind to surround me with. I ask, Father, that you would give me just your eyes to see and your ears to hear. These moments are laid before you. Come and do whatever you want. I love you, Jesus. I give you these words and this time. Amen. Okay. So, like I said, I was in Nepal for about 6 weeks. I don't really know. I don't know what's happening right now. I don't know if this is what's happening. Yeah. I don't know what's going on. So I have pictures that we're going to figure out how to do this for. Yeah, it's supposed to work there. Sorry. Hi, everyone. Okay, so I'm not really sure what happened with this photo, why it looks the way that it does with the big crack in the middle, but these are the mountains in the village of Hindi where I stayed for most of the time. I stayed with an incredible family. So Nepal, for those of you who don't know, is this really tiny little nation located in between India and China. And it's one of the poorest nations in the world. I think the average Nepali person lives on like $2 to $3 a day. And so, like, some perspective, the exchange rate was 100 to 1. So 1 Nepali rupee was equal to 100 US dollars, which was crazy. And yeah, so it's a really popular place for backpackers. Tons of people go, please stop doing that. This is not working. I don't know what to do. Okay. Even if it doesn't work, it'll be okay. But I really want to show you guys these pictures because they're super great. No, I don't know what. There we go. It's up there. Okay. Now I'll try again. Okay, so this is the family that I stayed with. These people right here. On this side, this is Jyoti and Indra Shrestha. They're the pastors, the mom and dad of all these children at the top. Those are they're 8 orphans that live with them. And then that's a funny picture of me and some of the kids at the bottom. They were probably one of the most powerful things that happened to me when I was in Nepal as this family. Just the culture of family in Nepal is really different and super powerful. And so I got there and immediately they like sang me this song called Welcome to Our Family, and I was like crying because I was super tired. And it was just like immediately as a foreigner I was so welcomed warmly into their home and into their lives and their culture. Which was actually really great because the first week that I was there, I ended up in the hospital with dysentery for a few days, which is super fun. Just as much fun as you think it would be. I want to give you, before I talk about that story, just a little bit of context about the family. So Jyoti and her family live in the city of Bhaktapur, which is just outside of Kathmandu. And they, like I said, they take care of 8 orphans, and they have 2 sons of their own, which I couldn't find a good picture of, so I didn't. But they rent out 2 floors of this house. On the bottom floor, all the orphan kids live in 2 bedrooms, and they have a kitchen and a bathroom. And then on the second floor is the same layout with their family, so the Jyoti and Indra and then her 2 sons. And they have a bunch of like 20-somethings that live with the orphans and like help take care of them. These like 20-somethings that don't really know what they're doing with their life. That, you know, it's kind of funny because it's sort of like America. Like we just go back and stay with our parents until we know what we're gonna do. So that exists in Nepal too. And it looks really different, but same kind of idea, I guess. They used to live in a village called Hindi, which is one of the first pictures I showed you, which is about 4 hours away from Bhaktapur. And in 2015, there was like this crazy massive earthquake. We heard about it here in America, where a lot of Nepal was devastated and just really broken. And as a result of that, their house in Bhaktapur got destroyed. They used to have this like 4-story house that with like enough space for all these kids. They had a school on the bottom floor and like all this stuff. And it got destroyed, so they had to move. But Jyoti had rebuilt the school building in the village, and that wasn't destroyed. So the school at the time, before the earthquake, had about 100 students, and they had a lot more orphans that they took care of. But after the earthquake, they moved back to Bhaktapur, and they only could take 8 of the kids with them. So Jyoti is hoping at this point to start another orphanage in Bhaktapur with her family. They're in the process of building a house right now out there. But when the kids are in school, it's like the quietest moments of the day. If the kids aren't in school, it's like chaos all the time. But it's super fun, and I loved it. And if the kids are in school, that usually means Jyoti is in the village in Hindi. She travels to Hindi during the school week to work at the school that's still open out there, which has been really rough on her family, but she's just kind of in a hard place within. And so that's a different story. But basically, so they live in a city called Bhaktapur right now, but I would go with Jyoti to the school to teach with her. And when they lived in the village, they would host families or teams like missionaries. That's how I met them actually. Gabby went and stayed with them with an organization called the World Race and got connected with their family, and then long story short, we connected with their family, and that's how I met them, that's how I know them. So yeah, Hindi was really close to the epicenter of the earthquake, and Jyoti travels a lot, and it's just kind of like crazy. So with all that in mind, I enter the scene of Nepal. Some of you know a little bit of the story of my history with that nation, just the Lord, quickly, the Lord really started just encountering me and breaking my heart for this nation about 2 years ago, and it's just been like a crazy ride ever since then. And this is American. I'm so sorry, you guys. I know it's not my fault, but it's okay.
Yeah, let me get her.
Okay, so on my way to Nepal, you have to understand that I stepped away from my little family here in LA, and I got on the plane, and I was like by myself, 100% dependent upon God's faithfulness. I never met this family in person. I didn't really know what exactly was going to happen. I didn't know like what the plan was when I got there. I knew they had a house and there were some kids, but it was just like very. I can't anymore. Yeah. You guys can see it a little bit. I don't know. Can you guys see it? Kind of?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I get on the plane and I'm just like getting so excited. I'm like doing the thing, you know, I'm going to the place. I've been wanting to go to Nepal for a while. I was there back in 2016 for 2 weeks, and that was my first trip. When the Lord really started just kind of giving me his heart for that nation, and he just really wants us to ride in the Himalayas, and he like gave me that heart, and Gabby has the same heart, and so us riding together has been such a gift from the Lord. But anyway, so I'm on my plane, and I'm just like thinking about what's happening. I'm like super terrified, but also like really excited at the same time. And I remembered like someone told me a long time ago, if you are standing face to face with something and you feel super excited but super terrified, then you know you're in the will of God. And I was like, that's me right now. I guess I had that. And so I land. My flights were through China. I flew China Eastern Airlines, which I would never, ever recommend. No one do that ever. I just did. It was not fun for me. It was really hard. No one spoke English at all, and it was just frustrating. But one of my flights was delayed my last flight from this city called Kunming to Kathmandu, and I ended up getting trapped in China for 24 hours. But God, in all of His faithfulness, did a cool thing, and I met these guys who were from America. They're like the two white people that I saw. This guy actually speaks Chinese, which is cool, and this guy is a missionary. Turns out, they are in medical school in Minnesota, and they. So they're from Minnesota. They're in med school. It's their second year, and they're going to Kathmandu to do research at the hospital. And we all got trapped in China for 24 hours together, and it was super fun. We went and tried like some of the local food. This is in China. This is me eating a bug. You guys, like I don't. It's like fun fact about what I did on my way to Nepal. But the reason I'm telling that story is because it was kind of the first moment where I just like encountered His faithfulness, you know. And I was like, oh cool, He's got me. Like this is fine, you know. And I started like really processing what I was gonna do and where I was going. And every time I would start to worry, I'd hear the Holy Spirit say, "Don't worry, I've got you." It was like this, almost like so real, just Him being like, "Don't worry, I've got you," all the time. It was really cool. And so I landed in Nepal after the 24 hours stay in China, and I met Jyoti. It took me a little bit to like find her, which was a little bit terrifying. But I did, and it was fine. And we took a taxi back to their house, and like I said, the family was very much like, "Welcome, welcome, welcome, we love you, welcome to our home." They sang me the song, and I cried, and then I got dysentery, and I spent 3 days in the hospital in Nepal, and it's just as terrible as you think. I was everything coming out of everywhere all the time, squatty potty status, sharing a room with like 8 other people. It was really miserable, and it was very hard, and I couldn't really contact anyone, like I didn't have service, and so if I sent a text message, it cost like $2 or something stupid like that. So I sent one message to Gabby. I was like, "Hey, I'm in the hospital, pray for me." And so she kind of like sent on updates for everybody on the list, but there was like, it was just like a really intense time. But the thing about Nepali hospitals is that the person that you're with actually is taking care of you. So it's not like the doctors take care of you, the nurses take care of you, but actually like the person that you're with will go and like get your medicine and bring it back up to you, and like they're responsible for bringing you food and blankets and like everything that you need. And so Jyoti and I got real close real fast, which praise God, because it like set up the stage for the whole rest of the trip. By day 3 though, in the hospital, I was pretty much over it, and the doctor was like, "We could stay one more night," and I just like started crying, which apparently you don't do in Nepal. I didn't know. Jyoti looked at me and was like, "You're not a baby, you don't need to cry." And I was like, "Whoa." Whoa. And so it was like this totally a cultural thing. It wasn't like she wasn't being mean or anything, but it just like wasn't a normal thing that people do. So it was kind of like shifted, like I'm a person that I'm super emotional, and I wear my emotions on my sleeves. Like I'm that person. And so for me to like be like, "Cool, I'm fine, everything's fine," was really hard. It was really hard. And so the reason I'm telling you the story is because it was one of the first moments that I really became aware of what God would teach me through this whole trip. And so I want to read something that I wrote in my like journal thing after the hospital. After being sick, I sat in my room the whole day, hiding from the curious eyes of everyone around me. I asked the Lord to tell me what was happening because I desperately needed His perspective in order to move forward. I felt tired and weak and inadequate in so many ways. I felt like I didn't know if I was supposed to really be doing this. Could I live in this place? God quickly met me in this place and breathed the coolness of life and grace over the situation. He pointed me to Ezekiel 37, which talks about the exceedingly great army that arises from the valley of dry bones. And he said every trial that I was going through was training like a soldier in boot camp, training for war, training for the very real, very hard things that were in front of me. I was unsure for the first time in a really long time, but I prayed through and processed all the promises from Him about Nepal, and came back to the place of expectancy and hope for this nation. The resolve He has established in me is unshakable. He is God, and He will have His bride in the Himalayas. Do not choose the missionary calling because it sounds fun and adventurous, because the moment you get surprise dysentery and a month-long stay ahead of you, you will realize your mistake. Choose the missionary calling because He is worth it. Any other foundation will not carry you through the challenges you face as a foreigner in a foreign place. So essentially, I'm hoping to end today on that note. I'll come back to that later. But first I want to tell some more stories. So after I arrived, I'm going to try this. No, I'm not. It's okay. After I got home from the hospital, I started traveling a lot with Jyoti. I don't actually know what pictures are going to pop up, so we're going to see what happens. Oh, this is the shack that Sue was telling you about that we stayed in the first week that I was there. I walked in and I was like, this is real missionary life right now. Sharing a room with like 5 people, 2 of them were guys, and like there was like literally no privacy. All the beds were like on top of each other. The kitchen was in there, the bathroom. I have a really great picture of the bathroom for you, that guy right there. I'm pretty convinced the wall was like made out of spiders. It was so crazy. Like, okay, this is maybe TMI, but it's super funny, so I'm gonna share it. They told me when I got there, they're like, you can't poop in this bathroom. You have to go down the mountain to another bathroom. I was like, what is happening? And all of this is located literally like in the middle of a cornfield. And I was like, I don't even know what's happening. This is in Hindi, right? This is in the village. And Hindi is located like you're driving on a road like normal. Okay, it's not normal, it's made of dirt. But it's kind of normal. And all of a sudden there's like some stairs that just go up into the mountains, and I can't even really see where they go. They're just some stairs. And so we stop the car and go up the stairs. I'm like, wait, this is a place I didn't even know. And you get up to the top and it's like there's houses and paths and like people that live up there, like literally on the side of the mountain. It was really crazy, and I was like, this is the most beautiful, wonderful, hard thing I've ever done in my whole life. So that's where we stayed. This is Jyoti's school. We would go and work. I would go and work in the school with her throughout the week there. And then this down here is one of the classrooms. It was literally like a cement room with like one window and no electricity, and the kids like sat in these benches. I was like, what? I was in my classroom. This is unrelated. I was in my classroom the other day here in TDCA, just like getting ready for school, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's so much stuff in here. I don't even know what to do with it. Like, it was just like one of those moments where you realize like, we don't actually need all these things. It's just like the norm in America. And so anyways, that's kind of unrelated, but I've just been wrestling through a lot of that since being home. But, okay, so Jyoti and I are traveling to Hindi. We would do a lot of house visits. People know Jyoti from the village. They know that she's a Christian, and they know that when she prays, something happens. And so people would call her for prayer regardless of whether or not they're Christians. And so this is like just us traveling. This is a really fun moment with this baby girl. We were walking down this path, and I think a lot of you have seen this picture before, but it was like one of those moments where I just was like overwhelmed by God's like ability to love me so well and like know my heart. We were just walking along this path, and this little boy, I'm talking like probably younger than Judah, little Judah, was holding this little baby goat, and he was holding it all weird, and the goat was like, I don't know what's happening. And I just saw it, and I just like my heart and the picture of like this little boy carrying this goat. I felt the Lord like really speak to me about just like children in that moment and just their ability actually to shepherd the presence of God. And so then I took this funny picture because it was like trying to hit my face. It was really fun. This is Jyoti, and this guy's name is Buddhiman, and it means wise man in Nepali. He speaks 0 English, but he's really funny, I think. And so we had a lot of moments where we just like would laugh at each other because we had no idea what we were saying. So it was pretty fun. So this is a really, really cool story, one of my favorite stories from Nepal. This woman in the middle is a woman named Radha. She was Hindu, and she had called Jyoti one day because she was having nightmares and like crazy body pain in her body. And so she knew that Jyoti was in town, so she calls her, and we trek up to her house. And you can feel, like, in the mountains, it's really different. I can feel, like, the presence of just, like, darkness in that place. It just is really different than being here because it's so primarily Hindu or Buddhist, and that's just what exists there. And so we hike up to this woman's house, and she kind of sits us down and tells us the story. And she, basically, she's Hindu, and her husband's Hindu, her whole family's Hindu. And she had been going to church randomly in the village. So Jyoti and her husband had planted a church in the village in Hindi before they left, and it's still there, which is really cool. But she had been going to church. I don't really understand why or how that happened. But So she knew like the power of God, and she called Jyoti and was like, "This is what's happening." And I was like, immediately we walked into her house, and I was overwhelmed with just like the spirit of fear in the house. And she explains what's happening in Nepali, and Jyoti can like converse with me in English. She has a hard time like translating what other people are saying. So the translation was kind of spotty all the time, which is difficult. But I just like would pray and ask the Lord what's going on, and a significant increase in my ability to hear the Holy Spirit and what He was doing, which is really cool. Side note of this trip. But anyway, so she's like telling us what's happening, and she's basically saying that her family's Hindu, but they've been seeing like a lot of demons or like having crazy nightmares, like her kids and her husband and everyone. And she had like several miscarriages, and her body was just like hurting all the time. And so, long story short, we tell her about Jesus, and I specifically felt the word of like, where light is, no darkness can exist. And so I kind of like explained that He is light over all this stuff. That's best I could. And we prayed over her, and she ended up giving her life to Jesus. And it was like, it was amazing. I've never felt anything like that feeling of like being a part of someone in a village that's Hindu who gives their life to Jesus. And I could just feel like the pleasure of God. You know, this is why I'm here, this is what I'm doing. And so like on the way back, it was dark by the time we left. I was like tripping over everything because the path is basically made out of like stones that are stacked on top of each other, and like the stairs are crazy. And I didn't even care because I was just so overwhelmed with God's like smile.
Hallelujah.
There were like fireflies, and Jyoti is like singing worship songs in Nepali, and I was like, this is such a great moment. It was just one of those things where
That's
like,
wonderful.
you know, this is exactly what you're supposed to be and exactly what you're supposed to be doing, and the Lord has just like so in it with you, you know?
It's awesome.
So it was really, really, really good. Okay, let's go to the next picture. I think that will help me. Okay, so these are some more house visits that we did. Sorry, got it. This woman here, she on the left, yep, she and her husband were staying at the earthquake shelter in Bhaktapur. We would go and visit the shelter often when we were in Bhaktapur and just pray over people, whoever wanted prayer. It didn't necessarily have to be believers or anything. But we'd always go to the believer's house. And this woman, her husband was really sick and like weak and tired. And we prayed over him, and that was it. Like we just kind of left. And we were in Hindi. It turns out they live in Hindi, which I didn't know. Wasn't expecting it. But she sees us at the store, at the market one day. It's not really a market, it's more like a shed with some candy in it. And some mangoes. And she sees us, and she's like, oh my gosh, like you have to come to my house. Like my husband's better. She said all this in Nepali. I'm totally summarizing what I think she said. And so we end up going to her house that night, and she makes us these potatoes, which I'm telling you guys, Nepali mountain potatoes are amazing. I don't know if you ever will, but they're really good. They're like life-changing potatoes. Anyways, we go up and we have potatoes with this woman, and her husband's there, and he's like 100% better. He's like walking around, he's like working in the farm, like being normal. And the thing about Nepali people is like they don't freak out when they see like God move, because they're so used to like the power of darkness. They just aren't, they're not really fazed by like the power of a God, you know? But at the same time, like it's the love of Jesus really that gets them. So anyways, they were just kind of like, it's normal now, like he's fine, thanks for praying for us, you know, and I found that a lot when I was praying for people. I saw a lot of people healed. There was a woman in the shelter who was pregnant and had this like crazy rash on her stomach and like was achy and like having nightmares. And I prayed over her, and the next day we met her, and she's like, yeah, I'm fine now. And I was like, oh, I'm so excited. So that was kind of interesting, but I felt like it was really busy. I was really busy all the time. I was working at the school for like 6 to 8 hours a day, and then we would walk everywhere when you're in Hindi. And the first week we were there, we moved their house, which I never complained about moving again because I had to move down a mountain, and it was just harder than normal wilderness. So yeah, there's like so many stories like this of people being healed, and just like the crazy ways that God moved in my heart, and just like these sweet moments with Jesus, where he would just like be there, be present, and all of a sudden, like nothing really matters anymore. Like at some point, the trip turned less into like a missions trip and more into just like living normal life with his family. And like it was just normal. Like the routine got normal, the schedule got normal. I started helping like clean and cook and just do things that you do when you live with him. To the point where like towards the end of my trip, Jyoti was like, I don't understand why you're leaving. Like, this doesn't make any sense. Like you belong here. Like you're supposed to be here, you know? And I was like, I have no idea what's happening. So I have to share another one of my favorite moments, which actually helps me transition into what I want to share today. And I get kind of like emotional about it because it's kind of intense. So I don't know if you guys remember this. Before I left, like a few months before I left, there was one day Christian had asked, like it was early before church started, he had asked if anyone had any testimonies. I was like, oh yes, that's just his face. He was like, cool. And I mean, we kind of like talked about it, but I didn't really share the story. And then at school, I shared the story, and it like exploded into this really amazing Jesus thing that happened. And so I was with the family one day, and they do devotions every evening and every morning. And one morning, Jyoti asked me if I wanted to share, and I immediately thought of that story. And I was like, yeah, I want to share. And I found myself like preaching a lot on like the man of Jesus and just like the truth of who Jesus is, and that he's actually not just another God to add to your list, but he's a real man. And yes, it was good. So I mean, I think it was good. Again, like Nepali people don't really respond emotionally to things, so I don't really know how they felt about what was happening. So I want to share this story with you. So I was here in America. This was before I left. I was with my friend Kristen, and we were driving around in my car, and it was literally just like the most normal thing you could be doing. We were on our way to REI to pick up something that she needed because she was about to leave for YWAM, and I needed like a water bottle or something. I can't even remember. And we were talking about just like the seasons that we were in, and all of a sudden, like you could just feel the Holy Spirit like really intensely in the car, and I was like, what's going on? This is weird. I don't know what's happening. And she was like, I don't know either. And I was like, do I pull over? Like, is this like what's about to happen, you know? And so of course I stop, and I just like sit there for a second, and I start praying. And Kirsten like starts having her own moment with Jesus. And I start seeing this picture, and it's a picture of a war, basically. And in the picture, there's like the earth opens up, and all this like stuff comes out of the earth. And then I see like this army of white horses, and like the Lord in the front. And I didn't know this at the time, but the Lord was like, great revelations in antiquity. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's the same thing I just saw. That's really crazy. I didn't know. And I played this song by Missy Edwards called The Lion of the Tribe of Judah, which is like this super intense like war drum type song. It talks about like the Lord coming back and all this stuff. And then I saw Jesus' face. And I've been a Christian for like 7 years, and I've never like separated the Holy Spirit and like the man of Jesus before. If I ever see Jesus in a dream or a vision or in whatever, it's always through like the Holy Spirit. I'm assuming you guys are all comfortable with what I'm talking about, so I'm just gonna keep going.
You're in the box. It's gotta go by me.
So if you're not comfortable, I really hope this challenges you and your relationship with the Lord. Because I really believe that today he has a lot that he wants to impart into our church and our family. Okay, moving on. So anyways, I start to like see his face, and I'm a little bit like, I don't even know if I can look at it. Like, I don't even know if I can see it because it's like Jesus, you know, like it's God. And I could feel like just the nearness of him. And it's like, it's super, super hard to explain in like normal people terms because it just doesn't make any sense to me. But I saw him, and I saw his eyes, and his eyes were like really, really angry, but like righteous anger. He was like burning for the people that don't know him yet. And then I simultaneously saw like this intense compassion and like this intense love and just like desire for those people. And I'm like crying at this point because it's so overwhelming and just like very intense. And so that's basically the end of it. Long story short, me and Christian like processed the whole thing, and it turns into this like crazy Jesus swirl where she was like seeing similar things. And it was a very powerful moment. And I didn't even realize like the significance of that moment until like way later. But every time I share this story, the Holy Spirit like explodes with whoever I'm with and totally like starts meeting people. And that happened at TDCA, and it happened when I shared this story in the house with these kids. And I was just I was just like overwhelmed. Like it's these little kids are like on their faces before the Lord, just like crying out for Him, and just really captivated by the idea that He's real and He's not just an idea, you know. And so I just was like praying throughout my trip there that He would just become even more real to me and to people around me. And then it was time to go, and it was so hard for me to get back on the airplane to come back to Pasadena. As much as I love you guys, I felt very fully myself in Nepal. Like I was exactly where I was supposed to be, and I was fully in everything that I was supposed to be in, and I was doing what I was supposed to be doing, and I could see myself like being needed in this moment, you know. And it was just like really powerful to experience, and I didn't want to walk away from it. Lucky for you guys, I signed a contract, so I had to come back to teach. Sorry, I love you guys. But I remember like I was at the airport in Kathmandu, and I was looking at my airplane, and I was like, I could just like miss my flight. Like it happens in third world countries, you know, like you just miss them. I don't know what can happen, but I could just miss it. And I just felt the Lord like, okay, really, like really actually, you know, and I knew that I was supposed to come back here, that this season is really important for me and for what I have to bring back here for everyone that I will minister to or speak to or whatever. And so I came back, and it was really hard, and I cried a lot. And this is kind of now leading into the story of Colorado, which is another cool story. But can you watch the time for me? I'm just talking. I don't know what's happening. So I came back, and before I left, so in November of last year, me and Gabby and Yosef were all at her parents' house for Thanksgiving, and we had a dream the same night about being in Colorado. And this is like really unrelated to Nepal at this point. I had no idea why we're going to stream. I didn't even know I was going to Nepal. And I was like, cool, that's probably prophetic. We should pray about it. And so we did. And I heard the Lord say the word Acts, which is a ministry or an organization in Colorado that trains and sends up missionaries long term. They're really a powerful organization. But I didn't necessarily feel the Lord was like, go do Acts. I just didn't know that. So basically, within the next couple of weeks of that dream, they start advertising for this conference called the Mount Hermon United Conference, which was last week, 2 weeks ago. I don't remember, 2 weeks ago. Time is really weird to me still. I don't know ever what time it is really. Because in Nepal, it's like 12 hours difference. And so I'm over jet lag, like I sleep at night, but I'm still kind of like, I don't know what day it is or what the time is. It's the year 2074 in Nepal right now. I just want to throw that out there. I don't even know how that's real. So anyways, sorry, back on track. So I had registered for this conference after they told us that it was free, and then I kind of forgot about it because I'm going to Nepal, so that's like the last thing in my mind. And on my way back from Nepal, I have an 11-hour layover in China. And I love China. And during this 11-hour layover, I had no cell service and no internet, so I was just kind of sitting with the Lord, crying and processing. I'm leaving Nepal, this is stupid. What am I doing? And he reminds me of this conference in Colorado that starts 2 days after I get back, and I'm like, okay, here's the deal. I'm super maxed out right now. Like, I'm at capacity. If you want me to go to this conference, like, you get me there, but I'm not doing anything because I can't. Like, I really can't. And so it was really funny last week when Clark was like, Ashley is glowing. I was like, ha ha ha. If you had seen me the day I got back from Nepal, I was like, oh, crazy, overwhelmed and sad and just like puffy-eyed and tired. And but the Lord in His kindness knows exactly what He's doing. So I get back from Nepal. I forgot to show you guys the rest of these pictures. I'm sorry. So I'm gonna do that real quick. This is a woman. I'm gonna pause the story and go back to the pictures because I want to show you these. This is a woman and Jyoti talking in the village. This is one of the house visits we went on. A lot of people in Nepal, their stories come from being saved out of like demon possession. Wow. And so this was one of those women. She was like in the church, like breaking all the windows and being crazy. And Jyoti went in and there was like deliverance and she got saved. And so now she like goes to her house and has conversations with her. And it's super amazing actually. This is the last picture. This is kind of just the view of where I stayed when I was in the village.
Wow.
These were the mountains. It was really beautiful. I recommend it if you ever want to go to Nepal. Okay, so that's it. All right, back to my story. So I landed back here from Nepal, and I'm really overwhelmed by everything. Everything is weird and different, and people are different, and I don't know how to be social, and like it's just different and hard. And I like the timing is different. Like I'm up at 2 a.m. for no reason, and like the food is different, and I got all itchy for like a week. And it's just everything is different, and it was really overwhelming. And so I get a phone call the second day I'm back in America from my friend who's in New Zealand, and she says, "Hey, why aren't you in Colorado?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? Why am I not in Colorado? I just got back from Nepal. I have no money. Like, what are you?" And she's like, "Okay, well, you're supposed to be at the conference in Colorado, so I'm gonna buy your plane ticket." And I
Wow.
was like, "What?" And she was like, "Yeah, so go ahead and call YWAM, and I'm gonna buy your ticket, figure out if you have housing and all this stuff." So long story short, she buys my ticket, I have housing because I have registered for the conference, and I get a free meal plan for the whole week because a friend of mine has registered for the meal plan, but didn't end up going. And so I get to Colorado, and I'm like, "Okay, I'm here, that's cool." I don't even really know what happened, like I just did it, and I'm in Colorado, and I land at the airport, and I was like magically, the timing was perfect for a ride because typical Jesus. And so I land and I get to the conference, and it's held at a YWAM base in Colorado. And the first people that I meet are these two girls that had just gone back from, I don't know, is that downstairs? Is there music downstairs? Yeah. Okay, sorry, I was like, so I get back, I meet these two girls, and they had just gone back from Nepal the day before me. And so they were on a 2-week trip, and I got to sit with them and process Nepal. And it was just like very powerful for me to be able to do that with them. And then at like lunches and dinners, people were like, "Oh my gosh, I heard that you got here this crazy way, tell me the story." And I'm like telling the story, and they're all like, "Oh my gosh, like, that's crazy." And then they were like, "You were in Nepal by yourself?" And I was like, "Yeah, by myself for 6 weeks." And they're like, "Oh my gosh, like, that's crazy." And I was like, "Why not? It's just normal, like it's my normal life, you know?" And at this point, like I have been the whole time, like just really, really dependent on the Lord. Like never I have been in my life. I'm a 20-something-year-old traversing the world where I don't speak the language and I don't know the people, and I'm just going to do the things He said to. Like there's just a level of dependence that happens out of that automatically. But then when you're me, you cry all the time and you're emotional. You even more because I just felt so just like weak, and I just wanted to like cry about the poverty and the people in my heart and all the things all the time. And I was like, "Lord, I need your strength. Like help me, please," you know. And, just trying to be joyful and good for these kids. And it wasn't like a striving thing. It was just like I don't want to come here and just like cry all the time and be sad about it. Like I want to actually live out what You called me to do and like do that in joy. And so I went to this conference, and all these people are like, "What is happening to you? Like, you're a crazy person." And I'm like, "I'm not. Like, it should be normal. I feel like it should be like a normal experience for everyone, you know? Like, when you're a Christian, there's a level of sacrifice that comes with following the Lord, where everything that you are isn't really yours anymore." And so I'm like telling these people these stories about my life. I found myself preaching a lot, actually, at them. Which I don't do that. Kind of like my normal Ashley self was like, and then my spiritual self was like, "This is so cool." Just like I would just like start ranting about how cool Jesus was, and just like all the things that happened in Nepal, and just like His faithfulness that I saw. And at one point, I was kind of sharing the story about dysentery and just like, don't be a missionary unless it's for Jesus, because this conference is for missionaries, and they're all like young college students. And so it was kind of like I got to disciple them a little bit into what I felt like the Lord had revealed to me. So the second night of the conference, we go in, and this guy named Stephen Venable gets up. He's the leader of training or something at Acts. So he like does a lot of speaking, and he's a really, really good speaker. I like him a lot. But he doesn't talk about missions. He talks about Jesus. He's just like, "I'm going to talk about Jesus." I'm like, "Cool, I love that." Someone starts starting off like that. And he literally starts talking about the worthiness of Jesus. And he starts sharing like from the Bible, just the story of Paul. And I'm kind of going to like tell you a little bit of what he said because it really impacted me a lot. And I feel like that's kind of where the Lord wants me to go today. But he starts talking about Paul. And in Romans chapter 15, verse 20, Paul says, my desire is to preach, my ambition is to preach the gospel where it is not known. And he asked the question, like, how did he get to that place where that was what he was saying? And like, in the context of a missions conference in this way, like, yeah, how did that happen, you know? And I kind of like was trying to like take it into normal life context too, so I'll explain that in a minute. But so he starts asking this, and he says a sentence. He says, I'm sorry, I gotta find it. I don't want to read it right now. He says the biggest hindrance to the progression of the gospel is the shallow knowledge of His majesty and a dim vision of His glory. And I was like so struck by that, you know, like. There's a lot of people out there right now that are contending for a revival or student volunteer missions movement or some kind of crazy thing, and it's super easy for me to get caught up in the zeal of it all, you know, like the missionaries do. Yeah, I love Jesus, I want to do all the things. And I think that if I had gone to Nepal because it was cool and I wanted to like do it because it sounded fun, I would have, like I said, I would have like lost it week 1 with dysentery, you know. I just would have been maxed out. And I feel like he started like speaking to me. The Lord started speaking to me about like His worthiness. And I think that in America, it's really easy for us to just get comfortable. And it's really easy for us to just be okay with where we are in our walk with the Lord. I think that Christianity in America is can become really complacent. And I've seen it happen to tons of my friends, tons of people that I know. I'm not like condemning anyone, I'm just telling you what I feel and what I've seen and what I feel like the Lord is doing. And as we cry out for revival and as we cry out for a student volunteer missions movement, I really believe that has to be motivated out of understanding the worthiness of Him. And the reason that I say that is it goes back to the story I told you where I saw Jesus' face, and he talks about what it's like when you see Jesus' face, and he kind of, this is talking about Stephen now, he kind of talks about like, when you come face to face with something so beautiful, it's not even something that you can argue with anymore. Like, it's not even something that you can discredit. It's not even something that becomes like a joke or an idea or this false, like, we just go to church and hear people talk about Jesus, but it's so real. It's so real. He's so real. And I remember like right after I had this crazy encounter with the Lord here, this team from IHOP KC comes and this girl speaks about like the real man of Jesus and how Jesus has like arm hair and stuff, and I was like, oh, what is happening? And at the same time, like, it's so true though, like there is like a real man. Like he is God. I don't know how to say that. He is God, but he's also just like normal man. Like he did everything that we do on the earth, you know, like he was here and he saw the things with his eyes and he had emotions and he battled with them and he fought with them and he had temptations that he fought with, and he really is a real man that knows everything about who we are and everything about who we're called to be, and he is crying out desperately for his bride. And he's crying out desperately to come back to the earth. I believe that he's waiting just as much as we are. Like, are you coming yet? You know, like I have found in my relationship with the Lord that I've asked him, like, I would really love to just be in heaven now. Like, this place kind of sucks. Like, it's hard to be here. It's hard to fight to know the Lord when it's so outside of everything that is considered normal in our culture. To be dependent, completely dependent upon the Lord, where we are taught to be independent, to take care of ourselves, to make money. And then we come to a family like this one, like Frontier Church, where they challenge us with that, you know, like, talk to each other, be a family, and you just kind of wrestle with that. I wrestled with that a lot. Like, how do I let people be in my life and help me be a good Christian? Like, I'm really used to taking care of myself. I'm really used to doing it on my own. And the Lord, in all of his kindness, knows that about us, and so he pursues us relentlessly until we finally see his face and we realize that he's worthy of it. And I think that I really felt the Lord like want me to communicate to you guys that it's not a striving thing. Like, it's not a thing that you earn. It's not a certain level of Christian that you become. It's honestly just intimacy with the Lord. And the more time that you spend with him, the more that he will come and just really encounter you. And you start to experience things and you're like, this is not even of this world anymore. Like I don't even belong here anymore. I feel like I'm a crazy person 90% of the time. I feel like I don't even really live on the earth. That because I'm so intensely focused on the Lord, and I have moments, you guys, I'm broken and I make mistakes and I do dumb things. I have pride and I'm here like preaching at you from I love it, I'm super great. Because I'm not, but the Lord is, and like I said, he pursues us. And the more that you pursue him, the more that he will meet you. And it takes a lot of pressing in. I found oftentimes I'll sit with the Lord and like want some cool emotional thing to happen where I start crying or I like see his face or have another encounter like that, and it's like that's not what happens at all. I actually don't feel anything. And I just have to remember, like, okay, God is faithful, like he's here. And that was a huge portion of my time in Nepal where I just felt really alone and really isolated. And there were times where I just had to sit with the Lord and say, okay, like, I don't feel you, I can't see you. You're not even relatable in this place where all of the gods in this place are statues that were never human. They don't understand us. You're so different, and I can't see you here. But God, I know that you are. I know that you're here. And to come back here and live normal life here, which is just I just can't. I'm still wrestling. And I know that you guys are too, because I think that there's a certain place that we get to in our walk with the Lord where normal life just isn't good enough anymore. Like working at a 9-to-5 job and making enough money and having the American dream is just not good enough anymore. And this isn't like me trying to be like, come to the nations. No, like I really want to hit on like the fact that God is worthy of our entire lives, no matter what it looks like, no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing. And the mindset for me was really shifted when I was in Colorado. I was in a missionary mindset where like I'm a missionary and I go to the nations, but honestly, like we're missionaries everywhere. We've got